be honest. I can't say it didn't demoralise you. I hate to say it, after not playing for Nigeria, which was my number one choice, and as you now know, it wasn't done by reason, it was done for other which we can go into later on.
But I saw pictures where you actually played for Nigeria, so I don't understand when they say you have not played for Nigeria.
Well,
there's a picture on
yes,
that
that's
wall. Right. Can we have the camera? Okay. Yeah. This is a Nigerian team.
Yeah, this is, you'll see all the legends here. OK Sima, Chidozie, Patrick Akola, you'll see them, Sylvester Akbala, you'll see them all there. This is Zaki when we were training at the National Stadium in Lagos. And Zaki, I keep on saying to all of those who say you didn't play for your country, it's not true. English game of football and the Brazilian game of football are very different. Nigerians, we took the game of football from the Brazilians. English football is much aggression, ball in the air. The Brazilian football is the skill, the cultured football. So we Nigerians took the game from the Brazilians and we have this wonderful, skillful game, which they don't have in England. I was not good enough to play that game. I came from England where the ball is in the air, everything is aggression.
Straight, yeah.
To be honest, I wasn't good enough. So there was no point me even trying to get into the team because I didn't fit in.
So it's not as if you didn't try?
Oh, I came 3 times and there's strong evidence. The coach was a Brazilian coach called Otto Gloria. And he said, look, Fash, you might be a star in England, but here in Nigeria, boys don't fancy you. They don't want to play with you. If I was you, go back home to England and be a star and represent Nigeria in the English team. And there you are. That's the picture, of course. Next picture up is the first Nigerian to play for England. English team.
This is you. Okay. Oh, yeah.
And that's the great Pele with my company, which was Admiral then, when we brought him to Nigeria. Greatest player in the world.
Where was this picture taken?
This was in, I believe, in Lagos, one of the smaller stadiums.
I never knew that King Pele was once here.
Oh, yes.
Came to Nigeria?
Yes, he did.
You've met a lot of great people. Like all the great people in football, in leadership, in... Anyway, there are so many questions I want to ask. I think at this point we should sit down.
Okay.
And then we talk some more.
Yep.
Sitting down now, we have a traditional question. I was carried away by your so many achievements as soon as I got here. And I forgot the traditional question. So, tell us, in your own definition, who is a true Nigerian?
In my own definition, Olusegun Obasanjo is a true patriot, a true Nigerian. Like him, love him, hate him, you cut him open and you'll see green, white, green, white, green, white. That's a true patriot. And we've seen him and we've all known him. And at this time of our lives, most people over the age of 40 either like him or dislike him. There's no middle. But everybody will say he's a true Nigerian.
Uncle Shege. Okay. The first time somebody is named, he's actually going to be, we're planning True Nigerians Award very soon. And fortunately, his name has been penciled down for that award too. So I agree with you that Olusegun Obasanjo is a true Nigerian. He's a man who has fought for Nigeria.
Yes.
Every decision he tries to make has to do with something that would empower Nigerians or that would affect Nigeria positively. Okay, like we were saying the other time, haven't been, you are a pioneer, you are a leader. In other countries, I know what they would have been doing with someone like you, with your experience, what you have achieved. First Nigerian to ever achieve or to get to that height in football, especially talking of Great Britain, the UK, where things are done properly and very strict. You were able to maneuver to the highest, the Premier League and everything. You've been there and all that. I want to ask, what, before I complain, what has Nigeria done for you since retirement, and what have you also in return done for Nigeria?
I think, Zaki, the mindset was not what is Nigeria going to do for me. My mindset when I came home was what can I do for my country?
Beautiful, true Nigerian.
You know, I've been in the game 2 decades, played an awful lot of matches, and as a sportsman, obviously, of my experience, I have a little bit that I can offer to help other sportsmen and women in the country. But it's not easy when there are so many challenges in the country.
So many challenges. These challenges, are they financial, are they political, are they cultural, are they tribal?
Well, I think, you know, my background is English, Zaki, so I've got to say it as it is. You know, I mean, the political side of everything in our wonderful country is there. Everything is politicised, whether you like it or not. And in actual fact, there's more politics in football than there is in politics.
Which shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be. But of course, it's who likes who. Are you a threat to anybody else? Are you in the right place at the right time? But it doesn't stop us still trying to deliver our quota. All those challenges, every country has its own ideal little challenges, and you have to meet those.
Because I was, you know, looking at all the pictures, the certificates, the awards, how far you've traveled, what you have achieved. One would only expect that you be treated like Pele. Pele was Minister of Sport, so I was looking at, and this is not about money now, you know, you
Sure.
have achieved a lot, it's about honor.
Yes.
So one would expect that it's either you are up there advising the Minister of Sport or advising the President, or you are the Minister of Sport somewhere. So I think I kind of agree with you when you say political, but you know, there's a lot of change in Nigeria now. There's change now. You believe in change.
Oh, there has been a whole wave of change,
Okay, that means
as
there's
everybody
still hope.
knows.
That
Yes.
means there's still hope.
I think there's still hope. I think
Okay.
that, you know, it's a bit of patience. You know, we've got to keep delivering our quota. You've got to humble whoever you are. You have to humble yourself. You've got to show them what you can do, which is the important thing. And if you have that mindset, Zaki, it's important that you have the right mindset. I'm here to see what I can do to help my country. I'm not here to see what money I can make or what I can take out of the country. And while you have that mindset, the big boys will always come to you and ask you, hey Fash, what do you think about this decision?
But big boys only comes to big boys. You are a big boy. So
Well,
the big boys are probably coming to you because you are a big boy.
Yeah, I mean, in the circle of big boys is the president and the minister. They're the only 2 big boys.
Okay, still talking about football. Why do you think we have not been able to host the Senior World Cup in Nigeria up till now? I mean, Nigeria is the biggest black nation worldwide. We're strong, we're going by our population, our tribes, in you know everything,
Yeah.
all the things being said about Nigeria. We also know what Nigeria is as Nigerians, but how come? What's the reason behind it? How do you think we can achieve hosting the Senior World Cup in Nigeria?
I think with the new regime, many things are going to happen this time round. I think whether we like it or not, we had a bad name. This corruption hanging over us all the time has certainly eaten right the way through. And even whether it's not true or it's true, people still think that. So to bring so many countries to a country that smells of corruption, a lot of the FIFA representatives would hit against that. But now, because the changes have been so enormous...
So why would they do that?
Well, because it's very difficult to bring some of the Western countries to a country where they think there's a bed of rot. They believe that corruption was endemic in the system.
So, in other words, they coming in would find out some.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
And not over that, of course, some of the countries where there is corruption, it's a lot easier to what we call fixed matches. So the matches are all actually fixed, pre-arranged, so you know who's going to win and you know who's going to lose. So it wouldn't be right to take the biggest international trophy in the world, which is the World Cup, and to host it in a country that we already know is corrupt. Even if it's not corrupt, just people saying it's corrupt is enough. The feelers are enough for people to back off. So, you know, I can say that God is with us, because now under this change has been so wonderful, the next time I believe we'll be there and it will happen. Because that's the ultimate. That is the ultimate. To host a World Cup.
Have you ever spoken about this?
Yes.
Before to anyone? Have you ever contributed to why we should host the World Cup?
Yes, many times. To be quite honest, there was more reasons why we shouldn't have hosted the World Cup then. Now we're in a different zone. There's been a paradigm shift. There are more reasons why we should host the World Cup than we shouldn't. But if you'd asked me 3 years ago, I would give you 100 reasons why we shouldn't host the World Cup.
Okay, you have won several awards. The question, before we go to, I remember that question.
Okay, ask away.
I'm considering all the years you've spent abroad and the way you speak good English, company, you sabi broken.
A little bit, yeah.
Well, I speak small now.
Yeah, I'm still thinking, hold on, I'm still thinking. Speak to me and I'll repeat.
Okay.
You know Sabi?
All these yarns, the yarn, you don't understand, Sha?
Small.
So you don't understand my yarns?
Yeah, small.
You know what yarns?
Gist.
Yeah. Yeah, you are Sean of the show. Okay, you've won several awards internationally, awards as a legitimate businessman, businessman award. What are you really doing differently that is making you very successful? You have several businesses apart from football, and you are successful in these different businesses to the extent that you have been recognized with several. I've seen a lot of awards, all Businessman of the Year internationally. So what's the secret? What are you doing?
You know, Zaki, I think from time, the 95% of successful people, of rich, wealthy people, come from abject poverty. Because that's what gives you that tenacity to keep on going. I always say you have the twins. You have success and you have failure. Those two twins will follow you wherever you go. Without success, you can't have failure. Without failure, you can't have success. So it's when you go down, knowing that you got that strength to come back up again. And I think also I try to surround myself with people who are like-minded, as I am. To play football, it wasn't enough for me. I needed to have multiple strings of income whenever I was doing something. From the housing, from football.
These are quite good, and they're used very simple. Swing. They're very deadly.
Can I try that? But let me try anyway. Am I getting?
Yeah, well, you're getting there. You're not there, but you're getting somewhere. Let's put it that way. Where you're getting, I'm not quite sure. But let's just take those away from you.
Try it again. Let me see. I want to see it again.
So we use them.
Yeah.
Swinging them as action.
Wow.
They're quite dangerous, and they're quite deadly if you know how to use them. So
I don't want to try again.
This country needs unity. We need peace.
I'm all for the renegociation. renegotiating the terms of our coexistence. We have to renegotiate it.
The youth have been misguided, unfortunately. You know,
I like my country. I like the land and people.
Hey, look, I have 40% shares in this company. But if I had known that you...
Judges are either corrupted or they are afraid of giving judgment.
There's no stopping us. No stopping. But government requires more revenue to make sure that these initiatives... Give us a better Nigeria! Give us a better...
Youth are the vehicles of change. The youth are the answer.
What we do not understand, we will stigmatize.
What you can see is the remaining of the tanker that exploded.
The suspect equally confessed.
Now 500 naira they collect them.
If you no talk, then go beat you.
Now 2,500 they pay.
Are you wondering why we're still wearing the same clothes? That's because we never left you. We're back in the lounge to continue this discussion on traditions. Should we stop some? But I like some though. Anyway, we'll be having this discussion after the break. Don't go anywhere. Yes, we're in the lounge, like Anne said, but we're still in the lounge with Saudat, Chisom, Fumi, and me, of course, Adesuwa Onyenokwe. Where am I? But you know what? The beauty about the conversation we are having is that it doesn't ever end. They can continue online, and we don't have all the answers. Mm-hmm. But I think quite clearly from the beginning of this conversation, we all agreed that traditions... No, Anne has been... She doesn't want me to show this my skirt, but I'm going to show it anyway. You have introduced yourself now. Yeah, but I'm still going to flaunt my skirt. My name is Anne. Hey, are you a fly? Yeah. You know, because Anne's into, it's okay. I'm sorry, my dear. Before they say I use old woman sense. Remove your shine. No, but sincerely, I mean, I think we just finished that conversation without realizing we had done half an hour. And so we came back here. And would I be right if I said we all agree that traditions have their place?
Yes, of course.
But there are some that are not too good. But I like the tradition of lali and aphrodisiacs and getting them ready.
No, I'm so for that.
Oh, you're so for that.
Everybody for that except Auntie.
No, but honestly, the question I ask, which is why I think we should focus, I think we should focus on that. There seems to be so much preparation, right? When it comes to traditions, the focus is more on the female. I know women are important. After all, that's why Today's Woman exists, because I know women are important. But then if you're putting so much pressure on women to be a particular way, and then everything you do is to try to make her be good for the man, isn't that somewhat negative?
I mean, you all have been coming with that thought, and I've been suppressing saying why it is. But you know why it is.
Why?
We have evolved from a very chauvinistic society. Most societies, and not just us, everywhere in the world, the men had the power, the men laid down the rules, and who would not lay down rules to benefit themselves? So that is the root of it. Why do you think there was feminism and all those things evolving, coming out of traditions generally? That's because the root of most traditions, because they were handed down a long time, were rooted in chauvinistic societies. And it is that we hopefully are, through feminism, through education, through civilization, through women being themselves aware and not allowing themselves empowered, are trying to get rid of. So there's no point asking a question about what we know why. That's why.
I also want to say that sometimes it's how you interpret. A number of these things are not because they want to suppress the women, really. It's because they want, because quote unquote, the woman is the weaker sex. So some of these things are to protect. Some. It's how you interpret. Some are to protect. Or rather, maybe the intention was to protect. But you are protecting what wants to be protected. I want to fly. Let's take an example when you look at a culture of religion. As a Muslim, they will tell you that, well, the culture is, the woman is supposed not to do, some Muslim countries, the woman shouldn't drive, the woman shouldn't do this, the woman should do that. It's not like they said you should not drive. The woman should not do things that are strenuous. So those countries will tell you don't drive because they want a man to drive. As a Muslim, in the culture, I'm not supposed to cook my husband. He's supposed to make sure I eat. Yes. And I'm not bound to cook for him. But I have to eat.
When they don't allow people drive cars, it's to curtail movement. So you can give them the excuses.
No.
But it is to curtail movement.
It's the interpretation.
Look, then, if we all want to interpret that we are being protected, those societies should remain in those rules.
No, what I'm saying is how people interpret it, how they interpret a rule. Take, for example, I learned here, talking to you on the show, that Islam says you marry 4 wives only if you can love them equally.
Yes,
equally.
If you can afford it,
so
you can take care of them equally.
So, but then you are now saying that Islam allows you to marry 4. Is that true?
Adesua, how many people are able to sensually love 4 women equally?
They can.
That's what I'm saying. That means it doesn't say you should marry 4 wives.
Interpretation of it. And also the rule is one thing.
Are you saying, you said they can?
The rule is
they
one
can't.
thing.
Says they can't.
The rule is one thing.
Application
and the application is another thing.
Can I ask you
now, sorry, excuse me. Let me just treat that driving thing. Look at here. If you're a driver in Nigeria, you're a big girl. If you have a driver, you're a big girl now. But because it is your choice to have a driver. Now look at another community that is telling telling a man that you must provide a driver for your wife. She must not drive because it is strenuous. Now the woman, she's enlightened now. She feels as if, wow, they're holding me down. I can't go out by myself. So to her, it's punishment because somebody is driving her. She can't drive by herself.
No,
it can. That's what I'm saying. It can be.
Punishment is not because somebody is driving her, like you said. It's a big girl that's driven. It is not the fact that she's being driven that is punishment. What is punishment is that
People should have a
she
choice.
is not allowed
choice.
to drive. So she doesn't have any control over her life.
But it is those that are interpreting that law that are saying don't drive. What we're trying to say is that protect your wife, don't let her do things that are strenuous.
So look at this two
I have
as
a
well.
question. So my question is, so in Islam, you're not allowed to marry 4 wives unless you can take care of them, right? Who does joining?
Who does the joining?
Husband and wife.
The
Imam.
So at the
or
point where
something.
the man came with more wives, was he asked that is he capable?
Which is
They'll ask you the question, and
Which
you
is,
say you
which
are.
is what comes to application.
Application.
The imams are men.
They're there
So,
now.
so the point is that's what comes to application.
We have to be careful in going down that path. Because if you go down that path, then you're telling us to check it by each application. We need to decide whether a tradition is negative or positive,
Generally.
is right or wrong,
Yes.
rather than be trying to
Interpretation.
see whether an interpretation makes it okay.
Let's go to Christianity, where, for example,
Yeah.
in more Orthodox churches, a woman can't be a pastor or a priest.
Yes.
Because Apostle Paul said at one point in time,
But everybody's
let them be
fighting
seen, not be heard.
But now everybody's fighting it.
Yes.
And there are now bishops and
pastors,
things,
yes.
So,
female
but the point
pastors
is a function
everywhere.
of, it was a culture. That's why it was existing,
Yes.
right? So even if you say it's in the interest of the woman,
Yes.
when the times change, shouldn't people change even if it's in the interest of the woman?
Yeah. I mean,
So,
like,
Chisom, yes,
I have
was
something
going
to say. So my dad, I always would have to refer to him in this
That guy is a
tradition.
cool guy.
So he bought lands, properties in the village for us, inclusive of me. Of course, I'm the first. So in fact, I even have the
And the only
largest and the only. So I have like the largest portions of land. But then I
so
know,
men will come to chase
I
you
know,
now.
but I know some people are asking why, because one day I'm going to get married and leave, and what's going to happen? Does it make sense to have this much property? What am I going to use it to do? And I mean, it doesn't make sense to me because I could come back to use it to do something.
What did your father say?
One day he just brought all of us and he was like, oh, this is yours. This is your brother's own. And he was just like, do whatever it is you want to do.
Money episode.
No, I wasn't.
Because I was going to say, I'm sure you got the reply, what you should reply them when they say, what are you going to do with all that money? You would have been able to reply
So
them that
that
it's for
it's
your self-confidence, it's for the power you need, and it's for spending.
So isn't that a function of how the father has chosen to apply something that exists? Chosen not to listen because
You hear that in the Igbo culture, women are not allowed to inherit. But he's not looking at that now.
he's taking care of.
And then I like what he's doing because, why wait until you die and leave chaos?
Yeah.
So why don't you do it now that you're like, I see very educated and enlightened people when they die. You should preempt the sort of thing that's going to happen because you're not unaware of the fact that this is what happens. So if you want to if you have 3 daughters and a son, and you know that when
you will die someday.
do you understand? So why don't you gift it to them while you're alive and know that that's done? Because traditionally, that thing will never get to them.
That's another tradition that's not good.
Yeah, but that's
Women
the point.
don't inherit.
We need to go to the root of those
In my
traditions
culture, women
and
inherit.
change it
Women
change
inherit.
it rather than hope that people apply them well. That's how I think.
Culture and
Those
religion
traditions.
in Africa.
They're so intertwined.
They are so intertwined. When we talk about, sorry, I have to take you back to this 4 wives thing. What is happening here, especially in Africa here, is not about being a Muslim, marrying 4 wives. It's about being an African. The only difference is that the Muslims have excuse to marry 4 wives. There's so many Christians and non-Muslims that have married 4 wives. The only one that will open his mouth and tell you why he married is because my religion allows it. Keep quiet. We're not the only Muslims in the world. There are Muslims in the US, in the UK, all over the world. So why is it Nigeria here or Africa here that you now marry? You see, that's the thing.
I think Saudat is fighting that battle. So the Muslim men stop using it as a excuse. Yes.
If you want
Is
to
it my
marry,
choice?
If by well, I can answer that question. He has to.
I was going to say, and it shall remain so.
Amen. If you want to marry 4 wives, say I want to marry 4 wives. Don't come and say because I'm a Muslim. Because many men have done that. Stop using Islam as your excuse. Don't do that. Yeah. Do marry and be, like my people say, do it with your chest. Just and say yes. I want to. Own it. Yes. And you see, there's nothing. I'm not going to say that it is wrong to marry more than 1 wife because some women actually marry women for their husbands.
Yes.
So if you want to do it, it is okay if you want to do it, especially if because even some children that are born in polygamous homes, they like it. They say that it is a good community for them. So the culture and the tradition that we have, if more a large percentage of it for me is very good. I love being a Nigerian. When I am out of this country, I am intimidating. I know that a lot, especially when people know that I am Nigerian.
Oh my goodness.
I like the effect, especially in Africa.
What's the culture you take away that's so obvious?
Nigeria itself, the identity of being a Nigerian, the fact that we are confident.
Very confident.
When you go outside this country and you see a black person that is confident, raising their voice and excited, 9 out of 10 times, that is a Nigerian.
Can I even say an
Do you understand?
accent? So why do we even try to form other people's accent? A lot of people outside Nigeria really love our accents. Every time I go to Starbucks, there's always this guy asking, he's always adding more whipped cream because of my accent. He will just say to me, should I add more? Just so I say yes. You're like, ooh, I love it. And and then I come back here and everybody is trying to form British. In fact, I don't even know which it is,
But don't worry, when we go outside this country...
Can I ask the young people?
Plus me.
Yeah, you are included. Can I ask the young people, what do you think we need to do? Because let's get to the crux of this. Do we need to work to discontinue bad traditions, or should we be preaching application in a better way?
Start from here.
Yes, this has taken me to a discussion I had with somebody recently about adoption. So she said her dad had 2 girls and then wanted to have a boy, and then the mother was old. Her mother right now is maybe like in her late 60s, 70s, and then they wanted a boy, and then they started to apply to different places. But then they said that in their family, so I don't know if it's an Igbo tradition, but in their family, adopted kids are not recognized. So it was something that they had to fight for a while because the man knew that he doesn't want all the property that he had to go to waste because they won't give the daughters, he doesn't have sons. So now he went and eventually they had signed up with an adoption home. Eventually they found twin boys. They wanted twin boys because just in case one dies or just in case one is lonely. I'm telling you, so this is the reason. So they had 2 boys and they adopted the 2 boys and then the family now accepted. So now when he died, these boys were 4 years old. They say, master this, master that. He's survived by sons, master this and master that. Now those children have even relocated to the US. And I'm thinking to myself, the property that he was fighting for and the reason why he has left his children to this woman that cannot, she's 70. She's incapable of fighting these battles with these children right now. At the end of the day, is there a better way that we could have applied it in the sense that this adoption, if it's more accepted, would more families have less problems?
So you're saying fundamentally try to work at changing the wrong or not so good traditions.
So in this sense, maybe we can apply. So people have been burnt by adopting children that have been a menace. That's understandable. So maybe in this one we can say, let's tweak it a bit. If families are open to it and you see that these are people that are distressed and they need this, then why not if not?
Okay, I think what you're saying, we're going to another topic here now. You're saying, traditions can be changed?
Or should they just be applied?
So it can be tweaked. Like in this one, you can be tweaked, not necessarily.
Application. Thank you very much. And that was a very good way of saying it, and that we can tweak some of our traditions for modernity. So we shall go on a short break now, and we'll soon be back with more on tradition.
So, if you've missed any part of this conversation, you've missed a whole lot. I've been learning so much about traditions myself. My aunties and sisters in the lounge have been sharing so much about these traditions. And, Auntie Fumi says that we should keep a lot of these things. Should we?
I'm not saying keep the bad.
Okay.
But there is a lot in the good.
I think
And we
that's
should
Chisom
keep-
had this
we should
perspective.
keep-
You're the youngest person.
I did ask Chisom to tell us what she thinks we should do to traditions that we don't consider very good. Is it to tweak them or to try to get rid of them?
I think we should get rid of them. What is bad is bad. What is harmful is harmful. And, you know, bet new traditions, bet new things. I mean, something started someday. So there's nothing that we cannot start a new, you know. So anything harmful should forever go, be discarded. Like drinking the water from your husband's funeral, you know, shaving your hair. I mean, if you want to, out of respect, I know a lot of people, when my last brother died, my mom shaved her hair just because she wanted to.
I like you bringing that in because the shaving, a lot of people talk about the shaving a lot, but I think sometimes the shaving is just to honor the person that has...
take off all vanity.
Yes.
It's okay, I just don't want to think about myself. I want to mourn.
Yeah, and she just did it for her son, and people were asking her why, and she was like, "It's my son."
Exactly.
And that was just it, you know. And everyone,
honoring
yes.
him.
Even in the Igbo culture, daughters are also expected to shave their hair if their mom actually passed. And then I've had this conversation a lot of time, and I'm like, I don't know, but you know, if that time comes and I want to, I will.
Well, you know, the point you raise is quite key. If it's not harmful and if it's not hurting anybody. Like what I told my sister-in-law, that look, listen, doesn't remove anything from your skin. So long as it don't make you drink something, just let it be for peace sake.
Yeah.
But where we get a problem is where there's no choice.
Yeah.
Say you must. And you say you must because, I mean, if you lose somebody, even if I shave my head, because you made me say I should shave my head, it doesn't mean I'm going to really mourn that person.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I have a friend, when her husband died, they were separated, they were quarreling, and they made her shave her head. Say when she was sitting down there, she was just cursing the man's dead body. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't. She was cursing the man's dead body, but she did it so there wouldn't be any trouble. But she was cursing the man. So let it be. Do what has to be done.
Let's go on a lighter note. Let's talk about the traditional. What would I call it? The masquerades and the fun things we do as you know.
Okay, I think that takes us to the point of what is the good and what is the bad. You were going to ask us.
Yes, of what we do and what is enjoyable. What is enjoyable? That's the word because. She had given us an example for Osadebe. In fact, when she was saying it, I was thinking...
No, just hum one of the same.
Okay.
No, what's it now?
We can sing Ekwe.
Ekwe. No, that's not Osadebe. That is Onyeka. No,
I was wondering. Yes.
No, but it's home
So, yes, something like the Lagos States and the Egunguns, and tell us a bit about that.
Halloween is tradition for other cultures.
Yes.
It had its roots in witchcraft, though.
Yes.
But we have our own other traditions here.
Yes.
Like the different masquerade. Although we have the... what's this masquerade? This masquerade now that they do a lot in Ikorodu and Ekwe. Oro.
Those are not
They are
easy
traditions.
ones.
They are not.
They are
They're
traditions.
horrible ones.
They're
Women
horrible.
are not supposed to come out.
Yes.
But then you have Eyo Festival that they flog women as well. You see,
But
almost all of them are.
everyone-
Why?
It's all against women.
Oh,
according
kind
to
of, but they're fun
stats.
looking at and stuff like
One
that.
tradition that I love, I'm not Yoruba, but I always like when they dobale at the wedding. Like, I'm just like,
Especially when the guy
yes,
is coming to bed.
yes, like that.
Not only beg. When my children came for my husband's 60th, and people didn't know they flew in, and my father-in-law was in the function at the function event place, and he didn't know that my boys came from abroad, and a lot of people in the room didn't realize they came. So they came, they went changed. So they came into the function hall, and they just went straight to their grandfather and just prostrated. And our very close friend, Ibu, who has known the children for forever, you know, since we were married, he's been our friend, so he knows the children. So he asked me, he says, how did you get these foreigners? to be doing this. I said, I don't know how they don't do it for us, but they're not going to be in the room with the grandparents and not do it.
Yeah.
You know, so there are those kind of things that, and you're not forcing them. It's something they've realized that it's a sign of respect in their culture. And it's not harmful in any way. And they just did it. I can imagine how wonderful my father-in-law felt.
And so, but you know what? I'm a Yoruba woman, and I don't like the fact that, well, maybe I have to accept that it's not all cultures that they are women kneel down. But you have to curtsy. I just feel it is so rude. Maybe because I'm Yoruba, you see someone older than you. If you have to curtsy. You can't just stand and say, hey, Auntie Adesoa. You know, you just have to bend a bit, do something, just to show like.
This is how you shake.
Do you understand? Just
when you shake an elder, you do this. You hold the hand. It's like you're bowing.
Yeah.
But you're not like bending.
Yes.
I
Do
went
something.
to an Indian
people think it's
party
disrespectful to
recently,
shake.
about 2 weekends ago. He's my neighbor. He's my neighbor, and I've known him for those years. And it was his birthday. And I'd never met the father. The father came. And then the father came to make a very short speech. And then he got up from his seat, exactly almost like, but the way they do this, he touches his father's shoes. He touched.
Did he touch his head with it?
No, with his hand, he touched his father's shoes. And then all the young people there also came out and touched the man's shoes. And I thought, we're not the only ones that dobale.
No.
So, but you see, the thing is, whatever it is we're doing, it can also become eye service. If it's for real, it's good.
Yes.
What Chisom said are key into that. When something is good, keep it going. When something is bad, tweak it as time goes on.
Tweak it, or she said get rid of it.
Get rid of it. Or you can even...
She says
tweak it.
Yeah.
So you see, this Egungun thing and all this Eyo, Oro, or Maun, you call it Maun, Ekpe. They are great. They are great things. They are great things that people can watch. So instead of saying they should be beating women, let them be beating sticks or trees.
In fact, they can tweak it. That's
where tweaking
it becomes a tourist attraction.
Exactly. Every Christmas in Calabar, they have the carnival where they have the masquerade part where they come out and display. Then they also have a show that's usually on the 30th or 31st where all the ekpe and the masquerades come and people pay to watch. So it's also making money for them. They come and they do all the displays and everything's very beautiful and nobody's beaten or anything.
But we're not allowed to come out. Like
the
females are not, and they come to like our compound.
So
and
the
have
question
a
is,
good
all
time,
these
but they
female
don't allow
things,
us.
leave women alone, Joe.
Exactly. Let us come and enjoy.
Leave women alone. They should stop because
Be
all this is
hiding.
power thing, everything.
So now that we've enjoyed ourselves with the good, can we just highlight what we would go around and we'll end with Adesoa. So let's start with you. Let's start with you and go this way.
What do you want to say, the bad or
good?
the good? Oh, my good?
I like the bad. We've been enjoying ourselves with the
I
good.
need to mention this good that I want to keep.
Quickly.
You see that Calabar something?
Ekpe.
Yes. No, not Ekpe. You know, preparing the woman for marriage. We need to keep it. Okay. I like them to keep it.
What do you want us to get
What do you
rid
want to get rid of? FGM, breast flattening,
okay.
and all that. They need to get rid of it.
Anything? Can you remember anything?
Yes, just down to like the masquerades and all the superpower about not letting women be there. They should scrap it. I want to watch them and dance with them and give them high five and jump, you know, for being such beautiful gangster.
For me, it is any tradition that is precluding women from rights of enjoyment and rights of participation. I'd like them to be rid of.
Okay, I like that. Anything that women are not going to be part of. But I also want to say that anything that is harmful, anything that will cause pain, anything that would be dangerous at the end of the day, if you know anybody participates in that sort of tradition, should be put away. But then if it's not harmful, it's not going to cost anything, then why not if not?
You said FGM, not everybody knows.
Female genital mutilation, what some people call circumcision for women. Yes.
Thank you. Just for our listeners,
I guess.
know what. So,
like they said, whatever hurts, if it hurts somebody else, then don't do it. And, you know, whatever the reason is, you know, we didn't even give the example of these people in China or Japan that they tie people's feet so they don't grow.
You can, although it's not our culture, but you can.
No, but it's true. The thing is, so
the
point I'm making here is, anywhere in the world, there will always be something that you do, which is a power thing because you want to bring the other person down. What we're saying here is, whatever the culture is, if it is negative most times around here, it's negative to the female, we are saying. So we should begin to look at it again and say, hey, is it really right? And also, the women themselves should also begin to look at it and say, look, maybe we should do it differently. Because at the end of the day, these widowhood practices are inculcated by women.
Yes, women are.
You know, this circumcision is inculcated by women. The fattening room by women. Everything that we do is women that make it happen. We are custodians. So we can begin to say, yes, we want to raise our girls to be good wives, but we also need to raise our boys to be good husbands. Yes, we want to be able to curtail our girls from being, we should also curtail our boys from being. You know, let's do it both ways. You know, this culture, you know, so let's just remember that we are all human beings, equal dignity and equal rights. I think for me, that's what matters. But if it's good, keep it. If it's bad, throw it out, like Chisom said. Should we? Are we gone? We're good. So at this point in time, we will say bye. Remember, the conversation doesn't end here. We can even talk about this continuously. The message is on screen where you can go join TW Conversations, whatever it is. Chisom knows. What is it?
At TW Conversations on Instagram.
Okay.
Yes.
So please follow us. Follow us.
We'll follow you back.
Research has it that working with your spouse has an impact on your personal relationship, as some couples believe that working and building a business together has made their personal relationship much stronger, deepening their trust, appreciation, and making both the business and marriage more successful. But the question is it healthy for couples to work together? Well, we're about finding out from this couple, Andrea and Collins Teke, who do not only have the same career, but also work in the same organization and as well share office space.
This is how these two on-air personalities resume their dream career jobs together every day. Collins and Andrea Teke were renowned individual broadcasters before they fell in love and got married. Not a few people think that relationships are hard enough to deal with on their own, and when you throw working together into the mix, it can get even trickier. One interesting thing about the Tekes is how seamless the couple anchors the same show together, a first of its kind in Nigerian radio.
Lagos, Nigeria, we want to know how you're doing this morning. What is going on around your area? We want you to tell us and also scream, "What's up, Lagos?"
They didn't always work together. Collins used to run a production studio, and it was at work that he met Andrea.
I needed a female voice. The client demanded for a specific female voice that sounded a certain way. And explained it to one of my, staff or team members at the time. And he said, "No, I know this lady. This lady is, she has a great voice. It's fantastic. She's beautiful." So, the boss, you even like the babe self, that kind of thing. And I said, "Okay, let's hear." Before you know it, there was a phone call. Before you know it, and then, it was timely. She came into the studio working. She just stole the presence of the room, And I couldn't do anything. I didn't have anything in mind because at the time I was in another relationship.
What happens at home? Does Andrea take up the role of a traditional African wife and mom?
I'm blessed to have him. I'm not sure that I'll be able to meet up. I'm not sure that I would be able to meet up if he has not been the way he has been, that is being super supportive. I wake up in the morning and the first thing is to take care of my baby because we have a son together. The first thing is to take care of him, have his bath, prepare his meal, cook and, clean, have my own bath prepared, and then we come to work. But the good thing is he takes up the responsibility of bathing this boy in the morning. So he takes that off my duty, so to speak. Sometimes I do it while he cleans or dresses him up. And then I face the kitchen. So we share that responsibility. It's more like sharing the responsibility at home and also sharing the responsibility at work. So it makes it easy for me.
It's a situation of we are going to work together.
Yeah.
We have to leave at the same time. We meet
get
at
to
the
the
same
office
time. On time. And then do our show. We have to prep afterwards, do everything together. So I can't go back home and start saying, "Where's my food? Where's my food from where?" You understand? So we plan it together. And I think that pushed me to also, rise to the occasion, which is something I would encourage, especially couples, whether or not you're working together, to rise to the occasion when your woman needs it the most.
Thank you. Spending time together may be good for their relationship, but this couple also faces challenges, especially in maintaining their individual identities.
People will call on the show and say, "Hey, Collins, tell your wife." And the wife is right there. They call and they greet him first before they greet me. Some don't even greet me. Some don't even regard that I am on the show with him. Yeah. So it dealt with me when we started initially, dealt with me mentally, dealt with me emotionally, because it felt like I am there, but still not there. Because, it took a while for people to recognize first. And that's what people took a while to embrace. It's just something I'm dealing with, and I think that people would gradually get used to it. There are no days that we don't have, times where we quarrel, times where he's on a different cloud, I'm on a different cloud, and we have to come on the radio and talk and make Lagos happy.
And do it. Kick a show.
And make Lagos happy. So it's actually challenging where you have to not let the world know that you're dealing with something and come on the air and be beautiful and be excited. We sometimes forget that we're having any issue or there's a quarrel or there's a misunderstanding or there's one problem to deal with right on the show. Yeah. And after the show, we're out, we're giving ourselves, that was a great show.
I don't realize, but we're fighting. People tend to just make what they make out of the situation. So whatever you present is what you get. So before you know it, your individual brand starts sinking in the joint brand.
Sharing an office space requires this couple having as little time away from each other as possible, as nerves may become frayed.
We have to create the fun.
Exactly what I was going to say.
And make it a fun filled. That's what we do.
That's what I hear. We create our fun.
Go somewhere
when we're
alone.
tensed,
right,
with everything happening. We call it decluttering. We probably go to the beach side, nobody with us, just the both of us, no phones, nothing. Yeah. And we are sitting, discussing what is going on in our lives as individuals and also as a couple. We just declutter. what I have been having in my mind that is building up to a resentment, I tell it to him. He also tells me we find a way to trash it out.
And it's a no judgment zone.
Yeah, we try not to judge each other. We just say the way it is.
A number of private organizations don't allow their staff get romantically linked. Collins shares his view about this.
It's a world that is changing from what it used to be, making laws just because you want to make laws, but doing it for the best interest, in the best interest of those involved. So it's a question of, the interest of those involved. I don't think it changes anything. If anything, couples working together has proven, at least in our own case, that it promotes bonding. It also promotes, in fact, I've been a better broadcaster, from the moment she joined me on radio, and even the listener could notice that. I've been a better person, individual, even at work, behaving myself, not doing anything. Because my family is here, I can't go around investing around, even if I'm that crazy guy, I have to, So the benefits are countless. So if, I don't know what the fears are, but I think I want to talk to organizations who have such policies. I think they should review it and give people the chance. I mean, there's nothing wrong for people to be in love and work together.
That's right. I agree with him.
The couple have advice for couples willing to work and build business together.
Once you can create a great atmosphere when you're together, when no one is looking at you, when there's no camera like this one, I'm sure you can replicate that easily when there's a camera. So, but if you do not have a great life and then you want to fake it in front of people and come in and say, oh, everything is fine, hey, it's a matter of time. The toxicity that's involved in it would show, and then it would affect the work. So it all depends on the couple.
There would be challenges. There are things that you would experience that will make you feel like, no, I can't go on anymore. That's just the way marriage is. There are tough times that will make you feel like, yo, I cannot continue this. It's going to happen even with the business. But if you take it the way you take your marriage and say, regardless of this turbulence, regardless of the challenges, it has to work. We have to get it done. When you have that mentality, trust me, it might just come out beautiful.
From the office of the tech guest, we head to the home of another interesting couple that has been into automobile mechanics for many years. Wale and Taya Oshikoya have been married for 10 years and working together in repairing vehicles. This home doubles as one of their workshops in Lagos. Marrying Wale was a dream come true for Tayo.
This work started through my husband. Even when we were during courtship, he has been on the field. I was not on the field, but I love the job. So after we get married, I have to join him so that we can work in together, because it's what I've been willing to do for long. And I just love that job. I just love it because when I was small, it's my dad's field. So I used to assist my dad when I was in primary, secondary school. So to God be the glory, after my school and everything, getting married, God now gave me someone that I love and the field I love most.
Meet my wife, we married together, and I have to tell my wife that this is the kind of work that I'm doing. And I somebody that I love so much, and she loved the work. So when I say, well, I have to tell him to go and quit where he's working before. There's one company that she's working and is managing the company, and she agreed with me. She surrendered. She said, okay, she quit from there, and we join the work together, and thank God for now.
The home of Oshikoya's is well managed, according to a lady mechanic, as Tayo is called.
My work did not disturb my home at all. Even we stay behind, maybe we close very late. My husband will tell me very early that you go home, children are home, they are off from school, go home. Then I'll come home, my husband will be doing the job. By the second day, early in the morning, we will go to balance up the job.
You say, Wale, I say, ma, I say, this business, you have to go more forward now. I said, like how? Now you introduced me to one Fashola school in Ikorodu, automobile school, technology. You know, we went together. We take me to the school. I say, oh boy, okay. So I see some my junior brother that's even my age, my children age mates. I say, you see those ones that will sit down together in the class. I say, okay, no problem now. And I encourage myself because I know what I'm looking for. I know what I'm going. I know where I'm coming from. I know where I'm going. So God give me I'll give God the glory. We'll sit down together, we'll write the exam, and then take me. So and I'll go there. He give me back school. He give me my shoe, give me my everything, uniform. I take it. I go to the school. I saw some of my age mates, of my class, of my children mates. We sit down together and say, Papa, I say, how are you? I'm your Papa, yes.
Personal and marital issues are not allowed to link into the workspace.
We both have our ups and downs, but it doesn't affect our business.
Exactly.
Our ups and downs is inside our room. Once we are in the same bed together, our ups and downs is off. It did not affect our work. Customer cannot even see it in my face. Rather than for me to now say that, no, it's someone I love. Why will I disturb his business or why will I disturb my business? If that thing shows in my work, that means our career is nothing.
Normally, as a woman being, as a flesh, we have flesh. Sometimes we fight. We quarrel each other. I told you that, go and do this work. We say, well, I'm tired. I'm tired. Which kind tired? My friend, you have to do it too. You also, I'm your boss. Say, okay. You know that I'm tired. I'm a woman now. I say, you have to do it because you love the job. We say, okay. And you do it. Sometimes, like last week now, I said him to go and do work in Ibadan. He say, only me. I say, yes, now. You go and face the work and you defend the work. And you go. Sometimes we'll quarrel, you fight, but you will say, I will hug him back because I know that he's woman. Says some things that I'll say, okay, come outside, leave, let me come and lose it for you. So we'll have to settle it back.
Wale and Tayo have had to endure side talks from people who think their line of profession is strange.
There's one man I used to work with him. He just called me, say, Wale. I said, sir. He said, why your wife used to follow you up and down? I said, sir, my wife is my colleagues. My wife is my partner for this business. If I want to take a boat now, or I want to do something, I want to buy this, I want to lose this, I will tell him, yeah, go and do this, go and do this. So since I've faced so many challenges on this work with my wife, but so far my wife, somebody like he make courage on the work and she determined on him. There's no how people can discourage him. Even you face so many challenges on mommy's side, on family side issue. They say, why you follow your husband? Why do you tell your husband to open a supermarket for you and do business and selling and do this? You say, Mom, that's your own time. This is my own time. This person, I love it and I love the job. So all the worry people saying is wrong. Sometimes they'll call me and say, Wale, why you don't get money to give your wife? I say, Mommy, it's not that I don't have money to give my wife, but my wife loves this job. So what? Say, okay, after some things, after so many years, they leave us.
If you are a dirty person from your home, you will surely be a dirty person. But if I'm going out now, wash my body, clean my hands, you won't believe that this person is a mechanic. I fix fingers as well. I do makeup if I'm going out. You won't even believe that I am a mechanic. That is why at times if we go to customers' house, before putting on my overall, they will say, you come with your wife. If they not say that, no, she's a mechanic, they will say, the women, they love to see me doing the job. They will say, Oga, go and sit down first. Let me see her, the way she's performing the whole thing. Even if after everything, if the woman will not say, wow, woman does this one. If my workmanship is 2,000 naira, we say, oh, my dear, let me give her 5,000 naira because she encouraged me.
Sometimes I will tell them that, okay, today we want to go out, we don't do any work, we don't have any customers place today. We are going and dress, wear your dress, do your nails, do everything. I will take him out to go and enjoy ourselves.
As a woman, there is nothing hard. If you have the determination, this thing I want to lose it. It's almost the same thing the way we handle our husband and children at home. Any children that's very difficult, you know how to handle those children. That's why the work is.
See people that start before us, that is doing this business, that there is no more again. But we just give the God the glory because we achieve so many things on this work. And we thank God the kind of wife that is given to me. So I achieve so many things.
A work that you are doing, you can be able to train your children's school, and you can be able to cater for your home, and you can even have a shelter on your head, having your own car. What else someone needs on this earth? Nothing more.
They have also faced challenges working together as a mechanic couple.
If you have a space outside there, people see couples working together, we have more customers. But immediately you go outside there to make your own workshop, government will come and demolish it. It's a big challenge on us, even all mechanics. They see the work as a dirty work and they are going out on their daily basis with their cars. And of which, if the car eventually stopped on the road, they're still going to call we mechanics.
Wale and Tayo believe mono-career couples can emerge strong and fulfilled as long as their values align.
I encourage the people that want to do the business, want to do the work. They should focus on the thing that they want to do. Don't look down on yourself. Maybe you are too big, you are too do this. Just focus on it. And the couples that want to do the business, they have to have trust. Trust your wife. Let wife trust your husband. If you make money today, it's not that the money that you make today, you make sure that you finish all the money. You have to put half for savings or anything. Because like this job that we're doing now, we use some our money to run the business.
If you have passion, you have zeal for your husband's work, and you doesn't have anything doing, it's very advisable to join your husband once you don't have any skeleton, in quotes, in your cupboard. So you have every right to join your husband just to make the business boom.
Our findings point that some couple craft a way to thrive in love and work by understanding each transition and knowing what questions to ask and what traps to avoid.
Yes! Cheers to life!
This is it for upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Bookie November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's tea time on Plus TV Africa.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
I like rolling my strong this way. I call it strong. I call SK Popo. I call them strong because, as I said, it motivates me, it gives me energy, it makes me move.
I'm addicted to Tramadol, Baba Blue. Everyone knows it as well. No, codeine, Benelin with codeine. Tramadol was given to me by my father. Him too, he didn't even know what it was. My name is Tunde Smith. I'm a drug addict, and well, I'm here to tell you my story about drugs. I started taking drugs when I was 20. I was this kind of child then that I was always trapped in my house. My dad didn't always allow me to go out, and my mom didn't always allow me to go out. So when I got out to the world after I finished secondary school, and I spent 1-2 years at home out of frustration, then I started going out, meeting people, and that was when I now found out about SK. That's the street name outside. It got to a time that without it, I couldn't eat anymore. I was very, very much fatter than this, but I guess it's drugs that did this to me because I lost my appetite. I didn't know how, I didn't know how to get it first of all. It was always a friend that always brought it for me. So when he was not around, when he had to go to school, didn't even only me around, I had to wait for a while before I could find my way to get into the Zanga zone and get the drug, you understand? So it was very, very hard for me to hold on to it, saying, okay, fine, I won't take this thing for a long period of time. But when I had the chance to take it, I took it excessively. I took it like there was no tomorrow. I took it like that was the last one that was on earth, just to make me feel good. I won't say I'm proud to say I'm a drug addict, but well, I guess I found myself here and I have to actually tell myself the truth. So yes, I am a drug addict. I steal money from my mom, I steal money from my dad. I just try my best to like get a shot of it a day at least. My curiosity always got the best of me when it came to drugs. So I moved on from just taking SK to taking other ones. And it got to a point in time I tuned into hard drugs. So I was taking all of them together. I would take Tramadol, I would take Ruchi, I would take all those kind of stuff. I would take them, you know, just to like know what this does and what this does. You know, all those kind of drugs, they're very, very easy to get. All you can do is just go down to the pharmacy and just ask for it. You don't need prescriptions, you don't need anything. You just go there, you get it. Hard drugs like that, I call it hard because of what it does when you take a large amount of it, because the feeling it gives and everything like that. And it's so easy to get. It's like just to walk down the park and you get it so easy.
Psychologists receive phone calls day and night from addicts who want to give up drugs. Every 2 calls is about one particular medicine, Tramadol.
Parents shouldn't give their children medications containing the narcotics codeine or Tramadol.
Tramadol was given to me by my father. Him too, he didn't even know what it was. When I don't take it, it makes me feel like the whole world is on top of me. It makes me feel like I am nothing. I'm about to go get some supplies, you know, talking about the usual stuff, SK, Tramadol, Pawpaw and stuff like that, you know. It's not an easy task getting these things and actually trying to get a video of it as well, but I just pray that I don't get caught. But I just want to show you how easy it is to get these things. Over here is quite easy. Okay, this is where I have to pass if I want to go get, you know, if I have to go get the stuff, you know. It's a very, very long way. It's a railway line. It's known to everyone. Everyone knows that if you want to get drugs, this is the place to be if you're in Lagos, especially this Yaba side. You can see the environment is a place whereby it's not conducive, you know. You can see everyone, no one knows I'm doing this. So, you know, if I'm being caught over here, if anyone should just suspect that I'm doing something like this, I'm screwed already. Like, I'm literally screwed because no, the police is not going to come here on time. This place is so deep inside the location that I'm going to this stuff. Before the police gets here, I would have been dead. It's so sure about it. This place that I'm about to enter now, I want to go get Tramadol. It's, as I said, it's just another shop, another pharmacy that you can just walk into and just get anything you want.
Hello. Good afternoon. Do you have Tramadol? Yeah? 100 milligram. Okay, let me have one then.
I'm asking for her now if I could get Tramadol, and she says yes, she has it. I'm going to take 100 milligrams. That is about 5 pills. So I'm just going to wait for her and let her, you know, sell it to me. In the meantime, I'm showing you guys around the pharmacy, you know. As I said, it's all being done secretly, so no one knows I'm actually doing this. As you've seen right here, this view that you're looking at is what we call Zanga. This, as you can see right there at the far right corner, you see that you can see some guys sitting right there. I can't go down there because I'm not meant to do this kind of thing at all. If I'm caught doing this, that's it for me right there. But as you can see over there now, you can see those guys seated right there. Those are those people that like take drugs. They're always there. This is where you can do anything you want. In fact, this place that you're looking at right here, it's not even on the Lagos State map. This place doesn't exist at all. This place is like, it's meant to be a canal. There's a canal over there. That's where you see the bushes, right at this corner, after this house. There's a canal that passes through that side. So all this place is meant to be like a gutter, you know. But, you know, you can see houses everywhere. Everyone just trying to survive. Over this place that you're looking at, the guy that you're seeing over there, that's actually the dealer. Because he sees me standing here for so long, he's like wondering what's up. Like, he wants to come and meet me, but I'm just like giving him the signals not to come yet, because I don't really want anybody to see me doing this. That's it for me. Tramadol, this is 250 milligrams of tramadol, just one pill. You have some people that take 2 sometimes when you really want to get high. Then this one is the normal one, the ones that you get like anywhere on the streets. Anywhere you go, you can just ask anyone and you get it. This is 100 milligrams. The normal dosage, any normal guy that takes trams, when they start, this is what they start with. Because before you get to 250, you have to like start with 50 milligrams, 100 milligrams. You can't just get up to here, you just get messed up. Rochi. This is Rochi. This one you take, this is 100 milligrams. Yeah, this 100 milligrams, just one pill. Just one pill of this, and you're good to go. Having like the motivation to like come out and speak about this is because it wasn't easy for me as well. I had to like seek help from, you know, a doctor. When everything was going crazy for me, I had to like seek help medically, and they were the ones that gave me the motivation to like do what I'm doing here today. If there's anyone out there that it's into drugs and feeling depressed, and you just feel that okay, fine, you want to step out, but you don't know how to. It can be hard, but it all starts by that step. It all starts by you just going out there and just seeking help. No one is going to like hunt you down. No one is going to arrest you. It's just about you just coming out and just saying this is it. Because that was the step I took.
Slick City Empire.
Increase the reach of your events or business services. To advertise on Plus TV Africa, please call 0906 000 5719 or 0909 040 8408, or send an email to marketing@plustv.com.
And a warm good afternoon. I am Emmanuel Olubobokun. This is News Brief. President Bola Tinubu on Saturday has pledged Nigeria's commitment to end gas flaring as part of its contribution to the global push to reduce methane emissions. Now, Tinubu told world leaders on Saturday at the COP28 summit on methane and other non-CO2 greenhouse gases in Dubai, the United Arab Emirates. Tinubu spoke alongside the COP28 president, Dr. Ahmed Al-Jaber, the United States Special Envoy on Climate, John Kerry, and the Chinese Envoy on Climate, Xing Xinhua, saying Nigeria has incentives and also punitive measures to encourage compliance and punish defaulters. Commending the Emirati government for its drive to reduce GHG, the president welcomed new developments made by the entities, harping on the need for participants to implement their net zero commitment. Tinubu called out the world's biggest economies, the US and China, who he said are the biggest culprits in GHG emissions, urging them to act real fast because the earth needs urgent healing.
We are committed So critical steps to reduce methane emission by ensuring flood gas are eliminated. There's a huge penalty for that. There's equally a huge incentive to do so. The measures that we're taking here is a welcome development, no doubt about that. And we are with the leadership of UAE for the commitment so far. We are consolidating on the gas export, usage domestically and export for other countries. I can assure you that we will be partner in progress to achieve renewables. We are committed to energy mix. We are providing cooking gas for a large population. We will continue to do that. We've signed off on reduction of methane. We will leverage on new technology, and we hope the two giant nations and the Emirates will be able to help us through. The Africa, what I know of Africa is the fact that the risk in additional investment and technological know-how, it is very necessary.
Nigeria will continue to engage with the government of Niger Republic to ensure the release of the country's deposed President Mohamed Bazoum. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Togo, has said that Bazoum has not been released since the junta struck in the West African country earlier in the year. But Togo said Nigeria, which plays a critical role in the economic community of West African states bloc, wants to relent on President for Bazoum's freedom. Speaking on the sidelines of the United Nations Climate Conference in Dubai, the minister said Nigeria is not under any pressure to act against the Niger Republic. The gubernatorial candidate of the new Nigerian People's Party NNPP for Taraba State in the 2023 general election, Professor Sani Yahaya, has rejected the recent judgment of the appeal court in Abuja. The candidate, who has reserved to proceed to the Apex Court to seek redress, said he is optimistic about reclaiming the mandate given to him by Tarabans. Now, speaking at a media briefing in Jalingo, the state capital, he criticized the judgments of both the tribunal and the appeal court, labeling them a miscarriage of justice and lacking fairness. Expressing his discontent to take the party to the Apex Court, he urged his supporters to remain calm by ensuring acts are capable of igniting dust. Now, determined to reclaim what he believes is his mandate, he said he was optimistic that the Supreme Court will not tow the path of the tribunal and that of the appeal court. Professor Hu said he had approached the appeal court with the expectation of receiving justice, expressed disappointment that his appeal was dismissed. The appointment of the Interim Management Committee for the 18 local government areas of and territorial local council development areas by Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu has been greeted by resignations and protests. Leaders of the All Progressive Congress in many of the LCDAs said the list was ducted. On the Assembly screened and cleared the 51 caretaker committees, Senator Jide, representing Ondo North, rejected the persons nominated and cleared 4 Akoko North East local government. They said the list was contrary to the agreed nominations by stakeholders from the locality. Youth from Araromi stormed the streets of Akure to protest the appointment of non-indigents as chairman and vice chairman of Ifesowakbo LCDA. The protesting youth said the nomination and appointment of Mr. Olariwaju Makinde and also Mr. Giwa Rashid as the chairman and vice chairman respectively failed to reflect the spirit of fairness to Araromi as the host community and the indigents of the town. Still on the news brief, Saturday local government election held across Ekiti State recorded low turnout as some residents boycotted the poll. The opposition People's Democratic Party also did not participate as its Southwest Publicity Secretary, Sonia, earlier in the week alleged that the state Independent National Electoral Commission is being compromised by the ruling party. Meanwhile, Governor of Ekiti State, Biodun Oyebanji, who voted in Ikogosi, Ekiti, preached peace on election day as he also called for more voter enlightenment. The Speaker of the state legislature also highlighted the need for continued voter sensitization on the importance of local government.
I've spoken to them. I've told people to come out and vote to maintain peace, and that may the best candidate, may the best party win the election. You know, and I'm happy that we have done this in Ekiti State. We just spent 1 year in office, and we are now conducting local government elections in Ekiti State. I'm so happy because the people on their own will have the opportunity to choose their representative at local government level and at the ward level. So far, so good. The turnout is a bit low, you know, and that tells me that we need to do more about voters' education and mobilization. But by and large, at least, we are fulfilling what the Constitution asks us to do.
Like the state chapter have made known to the public, we are not participating in the election. And our reason is very simple. The constitution of the EXIEC, I mean the electoral body for the state, is being compromised. Compromised in the sense that you have two card-carrying members of the opposition party, I mean the APC, that are members of the committee. How do you expect transparency in that regard? How do you expect equity? So our party felt that it will endanger the lives of our members to go into such election because their manipulation will be resisted at the poll. And that is the reason why we have decided to boycott in the interest of the peace of the state.
So why opposition party are not participating in this election? Well, I wouldn't know, but I will also say that it's important for people to participate in, particularly in the local government elections. It's very, very critical, important, because this is the only platform that actually reach to the grassroots.
Now, groups under the aegis of the ATM networks working with the National Agency for the Control of AIDS, the NACA, have called on government, private sector and key stakeholders to extend the National Health Insurance Scheme currently enjoyed by the formal sector to the poor and also most vulnerable. Speaking at a news conference in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, the program officer ATM network, Tayo Akimpelu, said for Nigeria to progress in countering HIV, tuberculosis and malaria, government should implement a combination of measures that include prevention and treatment. On our part, the Ogun State chairperson, Akomin Olufumilayo Olatunji, decried the high cost of treatment for HIV, AIDS, malaria and tuberculosis at primary healthcare centers across the country. Nigeria Defense Academy has reiterated its readiness to upgrade the academy curriculum standard into international-based practices to surmount the security challenges confronted in the nation's territory. The academy commandant gave the assurance at the 12th matriculation ceremony of the 75th Cadet Regular Course in Kaduna State, Northwest Nigeria. The Nigerian Defense Academy Commandant, Major General John Ochai, has congratulated the young cadets for successfully passing the screening exercise into the academy, which will shape, model, and transform them into gallant soldiers, charged them to remain focused and also determined to fulfill their military career in carrying out their constitutional mandate and serving and protecting the nation.
The journey to success requires your full determination, commitment, hard work, resilience, and above all, self-discipline. You must have the courage and zeal to surmount all the challenges and brace up to the demands and exigencies of the training which you will pass through while in the academy. I urge you to bear in mind that your entire training in the academy is aimed at equipping you with the capacity for national defense and professionally discharge your constitutional responsibilities. You must therefore live up to the expectations and adhere strictly to basic rules and regulations guiding your training in the Nigerian Defense Academy and physically fit gentlemen for service to our dear nation.
Savannah, who is Executive Secretary of Petroleum Technology Development Fund, Ahmed Galadima, who was represented by Azuberu Osurajo, said hunger for excellence and also effective time management system must be priority for cadets to support their military career.
The territorial integrity of Nigeria, like other nations of the world, is continually threatened by violent non-state actors. Hence, a need for sustained recruitment and systemic training of minds to confront emerging and highly sophisticated security threats across our territory. Regardless of the diversity of security challenges being faced by our country, I have no doubt that the NDA is poised to improve the military training and academic education of the cadets to mitigate future warfare challenges. The dynamics and nature of 21st century warfare demand an elevated level of intellectual capability and creative critical thinking by military leaders. Also, the nature of war and war theaters keep shifting and changing, thus necessitating the development of innovative minds capable of confronting, accommodating, and mitigating the multifarious security challenges across nations.
Operatives of the Nigeria Customs Service Ogun Area 1 commanders have revealed it has successfully thwarted an attempt to smuggle 975 rounds of live ammunition into Ogun State through its border. The acting controller, Amadou Shuaibu, announced this accomplishment during a press conference held at the Idiroko headquarters of the service, emphasizing the importance of collaborative effort to combat arms and ammunition smuggling. Shuaibu highlighted intelligence and diligence required to counteract with such operations, stating arms and ammunition smuggling is a high intelligence operation as it often attempts to evade the watchful eyes of law enforcement.
On Monday, 27th of November, 2023, our operatives went on a professional and intelligence-based operation to unravel the antics deployed by unscrupulous elements to bringing in live ammunition through Imeko axis of the state. We have been on the trail of this ammunition for about a week ago. Fortunately, at about 5 minutes past 12 midnight of that particular day, we got an intel that 5 bags of rice, foreign parboiled, 50 kg each, containing live ammunition or cartridges of live ammunition.
Commending the bravery of the officers and the patriotism of the informant, Shuaibu urged well-meaning Nigerians to collaborate in providing useful intelligence to enhance the security of the nation, as he also reassured potential informants of maximum security cover, emphasizing the Customs Service's determination to promote national security and economic well-being.
We appreciate our gallant officers and men for their bravery and commend the patriotism of our informant in partnering with us. We call on well-meaning Nigerians with useful information, with intel to collaborate with us in enhancing the security of our dear nation. You are assured of maximum security cover. Let me use this medium to reiterate that we remain resolute in promoting national security and economic well-being of our beloved country, Nigeria.
The Diocese of Lagos Anglican Communion has inducted Venerable Babatunde Adeleke as the Vicar and Archdeacon of the Church of the Resurrection, Victoria Island. The induction ceremony, which took place in Lagos at the Senior Special Assistant to President Bola Tinubu on Sustainable Development Goals at Dejoke Orelope at Defulere, family members and also well-wishers in attendance. Our correspondent Paul George reports.
Melodious rendition of hymns filters the church hall as the congregation, led by the choir, was in a joyous mood. Venerable Babatunde Adeleke Oduwole, clad in white robe, is ushered in to take his declaration of assent as the vicar and archdeacon of Church of Resurrection. The anointed clergyman was excited to be in the presence of God while performing the induction rituals. Venerable Oduwole said he is ready to hit the ground running as he explains the vicar's role in the church.
Well, I must say that I'm very excited. I'm enthused, getting ready to hit the ground immediately. It's a day we had looked forward to. Institution, induction, and installation. It is a customary and ancient custom of thanking God for choosing those such personalities. They serve as the eye of the bishop. And so we call them oculus episcopus, meaning the eye of the bishop.
He thanks God and says his vicarship is all the Lord's doing. Meanwhile, the former Deputy Governor of Lagos State and Senior Special Assistant to President Bola Tinubu on Sustainable Development Goals, Adejoke Orelope Adefudire, commended the man of God's selflessness. She describes him as one who is reliable.
In addition to that, I'm also being instituted as the vicar of the Church of the Resurrection 1004 Estate here in Victoria Land. To God be the glory. I'm excited. I'm really happy. I know that God has done it, and He who has called us will back us up. He will enshrine His word in our heart and grant us miraculous feats within the time we are going to spend here in Jesus' name.
I've known him for 12 years as a vicar and as a priest in the Diocese of Lagos, Lagos Diocese. He's a man of God that that we can rely on in terms of prayer, in terms of counseling and motivation. Wishing him all the best. God will bless his ministry. God will give him more strength, more grace, and on a daily basis, God will minister to him.
Some church members showered encomiums on him.
In Jesus' mighty name we pray.
In the period of time that we have interacted, he's been a very pleasant personality. He's been an exciting person to be with. It's just God's gift to us as a church. I pray for him every day, and I ask that the Lord will continue to equip him with grace, with his spirit, with more of his wisdom, so that he's able to carry the church of Jesus Christ.
Everything is working perfectly the way God wanted it. He was a curate in this place before, and he rose to be a venerable, and he was brought back. So I say it is to the glory of God. I'm happy for him, and I congratulate him. It shall continuously be well with him and his family in Jesus' name.
The ceremony was brought to a close as the guests were treated to a cocktail party. Paul George, Plus TV News.
And to other parts of Africa, with the 14 votes in favor, United Nations voted on Friday, the 1st of December, to terminate the mandate of the United Nations Transition Mission in Sudan. The draft resolution requests the mission to immediately start on the 4th of December, the cessation of its operations and the process of transfer of its tax were also appropriate, and also to the extent feasible to United Nation agencies, funds and programs with the objective of completing this process by the 29th February 2024. It also calls on the mission to establish financial arrangements as appropriate with the United Nations country team to enable the United Nations to oversee the residual activities of programmatic cooperation previously initiated by UNITAMS.
The United Kingdom would not have chosen to close UNITAMS at this moment. We commend the work done by the mission before and since the outbreak of the conflict. But given the unequivocal demand of the Sudanese authorities for the immediate termination of UNITAMS, we have worked tirelessly as penholder to agree a compromise to allow an orderly transition and liquidation. we reiterate that the Sudanese authorities remain responsible for the safety and security of UNITAM's staff and assets during this transition.
The Darfur and other parts of the Sudan are disturbing, and we must all respond to the calls of the suffering Sudanese people for a cessation of the hostilities, the protection of civilians, and the provision of humanitarian assistance to the numerous displaced persons, among others. As members of the A3, we are rightfully more concerned by the situation and would continue to engage constructively within the Council and our continental context with the processes required to abate the...
Now straight out of South Africa, Israel renews a bombardment of Gaza, eastern areas across the enclave after the end of a week-long truce. The negotiations to secure another pause in the fighting continues. United Nations humanitarian chief again calls for ceasefire in Gaza, saying Palestinians in the besieged territory are surrounded by disease, destruction and death. Now, more than 15,000 Palestinians have been killed in Gaza since October the 7th, while in Israel the official death toll stands at about 1,200. Now moving straight to business news. The Naira closed the week at 927.19 Naira to a dollar on the official investor and exporter forex window. This was a 16.64% decline from the 794.89 Naira to a dollar. It closed the week that ended November 24th, 2023. According to data from FMDQ Securities Exchange, also the turnover of dollars traded in the market improved from $75.82 million to $110.14 million in the period under review. Recently, the Apex Bank's governor, Olayemi Kadoso, stated that fiscal deficit and public debt increases are adding pressure to the external reserves and contributing to exchange rate instability. And I'll move on straight to entertainment news. Lil Wayne is being sued by his former bodyguard, who claims the American rapper punched him and also threatened him with a gun. According to legal documents obtained by reporter Carlos Christian, alleges that Wayne brandished a semi-automatic rifle and threatened to shoot him during an altercation in December 2021. The guard also claims the hitmaker, whose real name is Dwayne Michael Carter Jr., punched him in the air and also during the incident which took place in Wayne's Eden Hills, California home. Now, Christian called the cops at the time and also accused Wayne of threatening him with an AR-15. Both sources close to the musician denied the incident took place and also claimed Wayne didn't even own a gun. And that's the news brief. For more stories, please follow us on Facebook, X, and Instagram, and do subscribe to our YouTube channel, Plausive Africa and Plausive Africa Lifestyle. You can also view us from Limix and Limix.tv and Glow TV apps anywhere in the world. I am Emmanuel Olubobokun. Many thanks for watching.
An African girl somewhere is sitting at home, accompanied by dreams that seem so far away. Africa is one of the continents with the highest out-of-school percentage in education, and girls are at an early disadvantage. The sub-Saharan Africa records about 18 million out-of-school girls. This gender gap extends to the tech space with a projection of only a 33% global female workforce representation in tech firms for 2022. Let us help change the stories and numbers. Africa Agility's Project Train a Girl campaign is working to help train African girls in tech. You can donate as little as $2 or 2,000 Naira to help a girl in tech get her heels in the door. Visit www.africaagility.rallyup.com/PTAG to donate.
Reading is an essential habit and a culture that must be developed. Nigerians are generally believed to have a poor reading culture, The role of government in promoting reading and equipping reading spaces and libraries in Nigeria cannot be underestimated. But first, we must look at the development of reading habits from the home and the role parents play in encouraging their children.
My parents, my mom used to be a teacher, so reading was obviously part of a curriculum. And then my father used to be a professor and is an author. So I started reading very, very early, and I started reading books that were higher than my age grade. I was reading African Writer series from age 7, age 8, and reading encyclopedias by that time. So obviously my parents had a huge part and encouraged that in me.
In the Nigerian book market, there's a high influx of foreign authors writing for children, but very few Nigerian authors telling relatable, homegrown Nigerian stories.
If you start out reading stories even to your baby, even before they're 1, and then as they get older, buy appropriate materials that are colorful, with easy to read words, and read with them. I think that helps.
Adedotun Enyade, a co-founder of Robin Heights, a leading bookstore in Nigeria, has tips for Nigerian authors and how they can improve on their work and get into the hearts of readers.
The story has to be good, right? If you're writing, whatever you're writing, if you're writing fiction, if you're writing non-fiction, it has to be really, really compelling, one. Next thing would be in terms of the packaging, right? People have gone past the era where you just take your books with just about any printer to print for you. I think, publishers, self-published authors as well, they need to invest in ensuring that the quality of the book, the final output is one that will, stack up with any book, published, elsewhere in the world. So that's really important. Then I think, what would be the most important tip for me to them would be just, they need to invest in marketing.
The book business, like any other business, is challenging.
If you ask anyone who's running the business in Nigeria, they will tell you capital, of course, right? Book selling is also, as with any other business, is also quite capital intensive. Getting to pay your rent, getting to actually buy the books and stock up your shelves when you have them. Hiring good people requires decent amount of capital. So I would say it's getting the startup funds to set up something, and then if you're looking to do it at scale like we're hoping to do, then it also requires you raising funding, which isn't readily available in commercial banks, right? I don't think a bank would say they want to give you a loan to set up a bookstore. They probably will be skeptical about the number of people who read. So for us, I think it's just I would say capital is at the top of the totem pole.
It is commendable that certain individuals and organizations are making concerted efforts to revive the reading culture in the country. The government should also redesign the school curriculum to incorporate more reading activities in primary and secondary schools.
Senate asked the federal government to withhold allocations to local councils not democratically elected. And in Ondo State, the Speaker of the Ondo House of Assembly, Olamide Oladiji, has revealed President Tinubu asked Ayedatiwa to tender undated resignation letter. I am Gola Oba, and this is Plus Politics. The Senate has asked the federal government to withhold statutory allocations to any local government councils not democratically elected. The upper chamber unanimously resolved that this move would deter the dictatorial tendencies of any state governor This resolution comes against the backdrop of a motion moved by Senator Abba Moro on the urgent need to halt the erosion of democracy vis-à-vis the dissolution of elected councils in Benue State.
Reading is an essential habit and a culture that must be developed. Nigerians are generally believed to have a poor reading culture. The role of government in promoting reading and equipping reading spaces and libraries in Nigeria cannot be underestimated. But first, we must look at the development of reading habits from the home and the role parents play in encouraging their children.
My parents, my mom used to be a teacher, so reading was obviously part of a curriculum. And then my father used to be a professor and is an author. So I started reading very, very early, and I started reading books that were higher than my age grade. I was reading African Writer series from age 7, age 8, and reading encyclopedias by that time. So obviously my parents had a huge part and encouraged that in me.
In the Nigerian book market, there's a high influx of foreign authors writing for children, but very few Nigerian authors telling relatable, homegrown Nigerian stories.
If you start out reading stories even to your baby, even before they're 1, and then as they get older, buy appropriate materials that are colorful, with easy to read words, and read with them. I think that helps.
Adedotun Enyade, a co-founder of Robin Heights, a leading bookstore in Nigeria, has tips for Nigerian authors and how they can improve on their work and get into the hearts of readers.
The story has to be good, right? If you're writing, whatever you're writing, if you're writing fiction, if you're writing non-fiction, it has to be really, really compelling, one. Next thing would be in terms of the packaging, right? People have gone past the era where you just take your books with just about any printer to print for you. I think, publishers, self-published authors as well, they need to invest in ensuring that the quality of the book, the final output is one that would, stack up with any book, published, elsewhere in the world. So that's really important. Then I think, what would be the most important tip for me to them would be just, they need to invest in marketing.
The book business, like any other business, is challenging.
If you ask anyone who's running the business in Nigeria, they will tell you capital, of course, right? Book selling is also, as with any other business, is also quite capital intensive. Getting to pay your rent, getting to actually buy the books and stock up your shelves when you have them. Hiring good people requires decent amount of capital. So I would say it's getting the startup funds to set up something, and then if you're looking to do it at scale like we're hoping to do, then it also requires you raising funding, which isn't readily available in commercial banks, right? I don't think a bank would say they want to give you a loan to set up a bookstore. They probably will be skeptical about the number of people who read. So for us, I think it's just I would say capital is at the top of the totem pole.
It is commendable that certain individuals and organizations are making concerted efforts to revive the reading culture in the country. The government should also redesign the school curriculum to incorporate more reading activities in primary and secondary schools.
My name is Akin Adeoya. Let me add my voice to this laudable project, the Good Old Days series. My major focus will basically be on my passion for reading while growing up, the extent I went in funding this habit, lessons learned, and values associated with the correctional methods employed by my dear mother of blessed memory. How did this adventure into Storyland begin? My earliest memory of how it all started was my mom gathering us for informal afternoon and weekend storytelling sessions. She would tell us the irresistible and fantastic stories by authors like Sir Rider Haggard, King Solomon's Mines, by Shakespeare, The Merchant of Venice, and the like. Yes, she clearly had fun telling these stories with the way she used to repeat the names of some of the characters with emphasis. Tuala the King, Gagooldy wish, Captain John Good. Firstly, let me share what I call my carton room experience and how it shaped my views in my growing up years. Though of Ifaki Kiti origin, I grew up in Sapele and Lagos. The carton room was a room devoted to storing hundreds of cartons of Skol beer, either empty or full, because my mom used to be a beer distributor for an Ughelli-based company called Superbrew, and even ran a chemist on the side. At the same time, she was a nurse, a midwife with Sapele Health Center. The carton room was my secret hiding place. I loved to go there and do things privately. At just about 12, I already had a whole need for privacy. You see, the many cartons provided a million hiding places for my secret things. Not all the things I did there was bad. That was the room, sitting among the scattered cartons and bottles, where my innocence was shattered, reading hundreds of pulp fiction novels and plays. In that private world, nothing outside mattered. All I wanted to do was get up and run to the neighborhood bookshop to get the next James Alley Chase or some Pacesetter paperback. In my mind, I had an easy familiarity with America, England, Vietnam, Russia, and many of the great cities of the world. Even though I had never been there, I was a citizen of the world by virtue of my readings. My eventual adventure into African stories gave me a powerful sense of identity. From Chinua Achebe's Arrow of God to Ngugi wa Thiong'o's The River Between, Grain of Wheat, Kamala Laye's Weep Not Child, to Aiki Uyama's The Beautiful Ones Are Not Yet Born. It was a wildfire of politics, mystery, romance, war, and peace, all in the mix. Mine was the story of a young man in formation. Let me quickly reveal that I also love to steal into Olympia Cinema, which used to be very famous in Sapele at the time. It was at the very end of Okwe Road, the most commercial road in Sapele, to watch Indian movies and other popular American movies. I also had a once-in-a-lifetime experience of watching the epic by Hubert Ogunde titled Jayesimi. This was in the early 80s. How does the 12-year-old finance this rich taste in books, music, and culture? I started by helping myself to leftover coins on the table, by the bedside, in the pockets. I became bolder in my desperation to finance my addiction. I would pop into Dad's room and rummage through his jacket. Sometimes I would watch Mommy's used milk tin, where she used to keep money from sales. Many times I was caught in the act, and then my parents, both of them, would unleash hell. I would get an insane flogging with the used fan belt of my father's car. It was terrible. But my mother could see that the beatings were not working, that the stone in my heart was gradually becoming a diamond, and that if nothing was done, this boy could go over the edge. One day she caught me red-handed, then walked into the carton room, looked straight into my eyes and asked, "My son, Aki, should I kneel down for you?" This struck me as very odd and I stiffened. I could see the tears well up in her eyes and almost broke my heart in two. How can I cause her so much pain? This woman that I love so much. It was this time a different kind of fear, born of love and admiration. She continued, "Don't you know it is very wrong to steal? That's why I want to kneel down to beg you to stop. It will destroy your life if you don't stop. Pause and touch me. That's why I want to kneel and beg you to stop. Let me kneel." I was alarmed that she would do it. It suddenly occurred to me that this wasn't a game between me and my parents, that there was something much bigger at stake. It was my very first attempt to grasp the eternal conflict between utility and morality. Until this day, I can still hear the clanging as the coins dropped. "You must promise me never to do this again." And that was it. One amazing thing about her was she never doubted my word. And also, I never lied to her. Lessons learned. If your child lies to you, that means you must have been overreacting to his past errors. Take it easy, parents. Now, let's leave those childhood fantasies and talk about the reading culture. How many of our children these days crave for reading books and stories that can enrich their knowledge and broaden their views on global matters? Do we even have mentors who are willing to ignite the youth's passion for reading, just like my mother did? I once read a sad commentary that if you want to hide an item from an African, you don't want him to find it, hide it inside the book, because he will never open to read it. So sad. That was not the norm in those good old days. How did we get here? How or when did that passion and quest for knowledge take flight in our lives as a nation? What do we need to do to bring back those cherished good old days when we compete with the number of books read and not with the number of social outings attended? Is it too late to change the narrative? No. We can bring back that reading culture. Our children must not only be told these stories, they must be made to read them. The will to make the difference is all we need. Our children certainly deserve a brighter and better tomorrow, not the good old days. I therefore join Sir Shemore Badijo in this collective drive towards a greater tomorrow. Thank you.
I left Nigeria back as far as 2012, and it was a very funny story. As you can see from my social media pages, my best food is amala. So I worked after work. I'm a medical doctor, full-time doctor. After work, I went to this famous place in Oshogbo where they have amala, just next to my hospital. So while I was there, I sat down with the food, and then I saw this newspaper advert saying doctors needed urgently in Saudi Arabia. So I abandoned my plate of amala. The rewards were just amazing, and I couldn't believe my eyes. You know, free accommodation, free flights. I was earning, you know, I was going to earn like times 20, you know, of what I earned at the time, in dollars as well. So I packed my bags, went home, packed my bags off to Lagos. I was at Ikeja for the interview. Like immediately? Immediately, I left the amala, went home, packed my bags, and off I went to Lagos. The next day I went for the interview, did the interview. There were loads and loads of people there. Did the interview and got picked, and I was on my way to Saudi Arabia. So from Nigeria, I worked in Saudi Arabia for 2 years, and then I walked around the Middle East, Dubai, Oman, Bahrain, and from there, while I was working, I was writing my exams to work in the UK and the Republic of Ireland. So from there, I got a lecturing position in the UK, and then I was able to pass my exams within that time. So I got my licenses to be able to practice in Europe. So at the moment, I can practice in Europe, I can practice in New Zealand, I can practice in the Middle East, and of course in Nigeria as well. So my journey hasn't been straightforward. My journey has been from Nigeria, scattered around the Middle East and then Europe. The first culture shock I faced was I landed on a Thursday and obviously Friday, but it didn't click that Friday was a day to be respected in the Middle East, in the Muslim society. So I got up, I suddenly saw a car just drove in front of me and blocked me, and then I saw all these guys in beards just came, and of course I didn't. So the guy just came and said, "What are you doing out here? It's Friday, you're supposed to be praying." I'm like, I paused, and then he says, "Okay, are you a Muslim or a Christian?" "Yeah, are you a Muslim or a Christian?" I swear I didn't know whether to say Muslim or Christian because I didn't know what was going to happen. If you say Christian and they start flogging you, if you say Muslim, why are you not in the mosque? So I paused, and the guy said, "Bring out your Ikama." I showed him my Ikama, which is like a resident permit. That shows your religion, so it shows I'm a Christian. And then he said, "Where are you coming from?" I said, "I just got into Saudi yesterday. I don't know what's going on." Then he said, "Well, today's Friday, Jumat. You have to be praying. If you're not praying, you respect it. Stay in your house between this period." So I said, "Okay." He said, "Everywhere is closed. You can't even get food." So I said, "I'm sorry. I will walk back right now." And then another one that was amazing, even though I was a doctor, I couldn't speak to female patients. So if a man comes in with a woman and the woman is the one with the problem, you cannot talk face to face to her. You cannot ask her. You have to ask the husband, say, okay, why have you brought this woman here? And then the husband would. So my first experience, I spoke to this woman who had a breast lump, and I was talking. The husband was just looking at me. So when I finished, he was answering me. And when I finished, the guy just lost it. How can you be talking to my wife? I was like, I'm not toasting your wife, guy. You know, calm down. So the medical director had to give me an education, you know, yeah. So we were able to just placate the guy at that time. So that was one culture shock for me as well. I've traveled a lot of countries. I've seen 50 different countries now. I would say that in Europe, okay, so some very interesting ones. When I got to Europe, I was in my house, just sitting on my own, and friends said, come on, there's this birthday party happening, let's go and eat. Birthday party, oh yeah, let's go now, where's the venue? So I went to the venue, we ate, we ordered, ate everything, finished. Birthday party. At the end of the day, the celebrant came and said, this is the bill. And in my head, I'm thinking, bill for what? I should pay that you invite. I was in my house. I was in my house, you invited me. I came to eat, now I have to pay the bill. So that was one. The second one was, of course, driving. In Nigeria, you're on the left side, but in the UK, you're on the right side. So that was another culture shock for me in Europe. Okay. It's important to state that I always talk about the way to live legally, within the legal bounds, without violating any international laws, which is opposed to what people do, most people do. And if you notice very well, people live, you know, it's upward movement.
But that's a Yoruba term for herbalist.
Let's not come and be mixing.
No,
Babalawo
is a herbalist. Yeah, Babalawo
so
literally.
Babalawo
is a spiritual worker.
So these ones that do rituals, what are they called?
Well, they've decided to tap into.
They're called ritualists.
Well, they've decided to tap into the dark side.
The dark side of it.
Of spirituality doesn't mean that they are not good people.
I mean, that's
out
what
there.
I'm specifically talking about now.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm specifically talking about now. That if your father is the one that does things like that, like the dark side of it, and then you now say you want to, it will become a problem eventually.
Right. Okay, cool. Now, I'm going to say this. You want to swallow her?
I'm trying to digest everything.
Okay. I don't think religion should be the problem. I'm one of those people who don't think. I think religion should be a problem. Now, one of the top 3 artists in Nigeria is Wizkid, right? He's a Muslim, right? Every baby mama of his is a staunch Christian.
It's a good thing that he said baby mama.
Plus the one that he.
Wait now.
Wait, calm down. You are getting angry, right? They're all Christians.
Okay.
Now, the presidential aspirant for the APC, that's Tinubu. He's a Muslim, true and true. His wife is a pastor.
Okay.
Okay. What's it called? Fashola. Right, and his wife is so, and they cohabitate and they're doing well together, and
like,
it's a beautiful
the children
thing.
go to the mosque, the children go to the church. It's just understanding, basically.
Do you understand? I'm trying to look for more people. Justin Bieber, right, is a Christian. His wife, what's her name? Hailey. She's not your everyday conventional Christian. She was an atheist before she became a Catholic, and they're good. They're doing okay. Do you understand? So I
mean, where there's love, if there's love, God is there. God exists where love is. So I don't even think religion should be.
I mean, I like how you're picking it from the point of people that are just surface Christians.
How do you know they are surface?
How do you know?
Are you in their spaces? You cannot judge.
Have you ever been around
assume.
people that are like deep into religion, people that will condemn and nail the other religions
that's
to
the reason.
cross?
That's why I have problems with people, because some people say they are religious, but do you know what it is to even be first of all religious?
I mean, I'm talking from the space of the religion that we have now.
A lot of people are more spiritual than even being religious. They might not go to church. They might not go to the mosque. They might not do any of that. But they are very spiritual.
The woman that woke up, that spent her New Year crossover in front of the water.
Watching sunset.
I mean,
watching the sun rise.
Yeah.
That's how Roseanne actually spent her New Year.
Because I mean, for crying out loud, yeah, they said where 2 or 3 are gathered, God is there. So even if I'm not in the church, in the midst of bunch of like other souls, worshiping, but I'm in the midst of 2 beautiful people, and then we are kabashing and praying and singing praises. I mean, why not? Do you understand? And then I'm in nature, and then I can communicate because now it's not just even me, there are other entities too around. So yeah, they carry my
But
prayers.
do you know that to some particular people, you're a surface Christian because why be at the beachfront when you can be in church?
Why must I be in church?
I mean, you know that's what religion is all about now.
Until I'm in church, I say, hey, brother, oh, my sister. Oh, well done, brother.
Some deep Christians. And you know why I keep saying deep Christians? People, I'm not going to say deep Christian, deep religionists. Let me put it that way because we've been trying to scatter that now. People are more religious than being Christians or being Muslims now. Right. So deep religionists would consider what you just did as being someone that is not fervent in Christ, someone that is just a Christian that is just on the surface.
Deep religion and deep Christian.
Yes.
Okay.
Is it called to deeper life?
No. You want to give me bad boast. First of all, you could be religious at something. Doesn't even make you a Christian. Because what does it mean to be a Christian is for you to be Christ-like.
Exactly.
And then a lot of Christians are far from Christ-like.
Exactly.
They are just
You're
just religious going to church.
Dissect
wake up every day, get up, go to church. You are doing the same thing every day. That's being
go to church. And the moment you stop going to church and you feel like, okay, what the church is giving you is not the ideology you have of being Christ-like.
Yeah.
It becomes a problem. You're no longer being religious.
You're not becoming
You are awakening.
Anyways, for me, like I said earlier, I do not think it should be a problem. I think love should be the number one thing that actually binds all of us in the world.
God is love. Love is God.
Do you understand? We're all human beings. Like, okay, oh, you're a Muslim. Oh, fine. All well and good. My grandmother, that's my maternal grandmother. She was a Christian before she married my granddad. My granddad is a Muslim. Was a Muslim. Well, she became a Muslim later. Do you understand? Because of her husband. But they never stopped their children from, look, what path are you choosing?
Exactly.
What do you want to do? Do you want to be a Muslim? Do you want to? And you get it. So I just think with this girl's story that I talked about on Twitter, it was just really sad. Like, and it was so bad. Like, I was like, the guy and the girl, they don't feel running away. Like, even they don't agree.
Because
are people still scared of that? Look,
the family had much say and much control.
Yes, they did.
So they couldn't do, except because in a case whereby you started paying your bills yourself, the story is quite different.
Than
when you
are
under your father and mother,
your parents.
Do you understand? You can't. There are certain things and measures you can't do. You can't go or say because you know that who is going to pay the next bill?
I mean, when I keep saying that I'm rebellious, it's because I know that I can do without my I can do without.
That doesn't mean I don't respect my folks. I do, but
then I know I can stand on my own.
Exactly. At the moment you can, that's why they just allow you make decisions because they know you are paying bills, you are contributing, but you're not contributing. They wake up, and say, they've served your rice and stew on the dining.
So you definitely do not have any say.
Hey, anyways, I'm going to say this again. Like, when you're going into a relationship with a person, I think there's some things we need to ask.
From the
get-go. From the foundation.
Yes.
Like, don't scratch it up like, nah, when we get to that point, when we get to that bridge, we'll cross it. You will not cross some bridges.
Yeah.
Some bridges can never take you to that place, right? So just find out from the beginning, what's your family's take on the fact that, look, I'm in love with you and all that. Yeah, you're a Christian, I'm a Muslim. What do you think? Oh, I'm an atheist. I don't believe in God. Or I don't do this. How will your family take this? If it's going to be a problem, don't let us go further.
Yeah.
Don't let us say we're going to elope or we're going to do blah, blah. If it's not going to work, I think
some families cannot stand other religions.
Bam.
So once you know that from the very beginning, it's like supposed to be... Yeah, it's supposed to be a conversation.
And they are Christians. Do you understand? Like the other Christians that can't even stand other Christians.
Exactly. Nah. Exactly.
Anyways, that's the whole 9 yards on the show today. On a final note, Rosange, your point is... On a final note.
Love cuts across all barriers. So religion to me is not a barrier. If you love that person, go for it.
Oh. Boom. Boom.
My counterfeit.
For me, love conquers all things, truly. Yes. But have the conversation from the very beginning, please.
I agree.
Don't get to the very end before you start talking about things like that. I beg of you, so that we'll not break each other's head.
All right. And for me, before we go, I would say religion, no religion, human, we are all humans. That's the one umbrella that carries us, human beings, right? So we shouldn't let that be the problem. But, like Boom said, also find out, is it going to be a problem along the line? If it's going to be, hey, you have to go. A big thank you to my guys for being part of this. We'll definitely be back again. No Cap is always here for you. And if you don't agree with some of the things we talked about here, it's okay. Go to our social media pages and drop your comment. We'll definitely read them out, okay? We got to go. Do not drink and drive. Put God first and the rest is history. Drink a lot of water. Mind your business.
Nobody go ask if you don't chop. Nobody go send you free money. If you not get now, you sabi. Adulthood na scam.
Adulthood na Scam is a popular song depicting the travails of being an adult and the responsibility that comes with it. There is no time the enormity of the responsibility dawns more than after graduation. After graduation is the time to make use of and put into practice the knowledge gained by students. However, the current higher education system is still struggling to bridge the gap between school and the workplace for students. The needs of the workplace differ, and something as simple as writing a CV is not taught in the classroom. How to apply what you have learned in school in the workplace is usually a knowledge gap that most graduates struggle with after graduation. Studying a particular course and deeply understanding the career path
it is engagement we need to have.
Those who suffer miscarriages are never taken into account.
Members of the National Assembly are also influence peddlers.
You are sitting on Nigerians' money.
From the Babin, I pay my rent. On the Babin, I send my children to school.
A consultative engagement.
No any tangible notification before they ban us.
It's one thing for people to be at your back and the heat of the moment, and another thing for them to still be with you when push comes to shove.
Senate asked the federal government to withhold allocations to local councils not democratically elected. And in Ondo State, the Speaker of the Ondo House of Assembly, Olamide Oladiji, has revealed President Tinubu asked Ayedatiwa to tender undated resignation letter. I am Bola Oba, and this is Plus Politics. The Senate has asked the federal government to withhold statutory allocations to any local government councils not democratically elected. The upper chamber unanimously resolved that this move would deter the dictatorial tendencies of any state governor. This resolution comes against the backdrop of a motion moved by Senator Abba Moro on the urgent need to halt the erosion of democracy vis-a-vis the dissolution of elected councils in Benue State. The lawmakers argued that the placement of caretaker committees to replace elected councils is an aberration, undemocratic, and a breach of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as amended. Joining us live is Nasarawa Chairman of Association of Local Government of Nigeria, Algon Alhaji Aminu Muazu. My fact, we'll go on a short break. We'll soon be back. Welcome back. We had technical issues connecting with our first guest. We moved to the second topic for the day, and we are very grateful to our guest who is literally on as we speak. The Speaker of the Ondo State House of Assembly, Olamide Oladiji, has revealed that as part of efforts at ending the political crisis in the state, President Bola Tinubu had asked the Deputy Governor, Lucky Ayedatiwa, to tender an undated resignation letter. And despite moves by President Tinubu and the leadership of All Progressives Congress APC to resolve the political crisis currently rocking governance in that state, the issues seem to be piling up by the day as the State Assembly has demanded the resignation letter of Ayedatiwa as proposed by the President. Joining us live is Kennedy Peretai, PDP Publicity Secretary, Ondo State. Honorable Peretai, good to have you guesting on Plus Politics.
Thank you so much. Good evening. But the name is pronounced Perete.
Thank you very much. I was just about saying I hope I've not murdered the name. I really wouldn't like to be accused of murder, okay. You know. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you. What is happening in your state? Just when we thought we had made some steps in the direction of progress, the crisis seems to be recalibrating and moving in the direction of discombobulation. What is happening?
Well, you will recall that immediately they returned from Abuja, I issued a statement to say that what President Tinubu has done amounts to window dressing, that the issues have not been addressed. And that as long as the governor of Ondo State, Rotimi Akeredolu, remains in hiding, as it were, it means there is not going to be respite. And the siege was still on. But 2 days after, we saw the first fireworks. You know, the State Assembly was said to have been, they are said to have received a list of nominees for to be council chairman and vice chairman. And we were told reliably that the deputy governor was not to know of it. But before we knew it, we went to court. The court did not give us a date, but we actually issued a statement saying that what they did was an illegality, because as far as the Constitution of Nigeria is concerned, local governments are supposed to be administered by democratically elected officials. That is Section 7 of the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended. But they have not done that. Yesterday, the High Court in Ondo State gave us an order restraining them from swearing the illegal chairman. But we're told that by around 8 p.m., they hurriedly are going to the Cocoa Conference Hall and swore them in. So we have not seen the last of this crisis. It has just started as far as I'm concerned.
As the official opposition party, we know this is the presidential system of government and we don't quite have something akin to official opposition party as you have in the parliamentary system of government. But the PDP would ordinarily be referred to as the leading opposition party in the state. What are the options that the PDP has at this juncture beyond noise making? You must have some constitutional remedies. You have members in the State House of Assembly, don't you?
Yeah, we have 4 members. You know, what we are having in those states is quite embarrassing. And statesmen, elder statesmen like Chief Ruben Fashoranti have intervened. They have written to Mr. President. We have also provided options. What can be done? First, if Rotimi Akeredolu cannot resume, as is the case now, we have also proposed that he should honorably resign, because as it is now, Ondo State is drifting. Nobody is in charge of the affairs of Ondo State. There is no governor, there is no deputy governor. The third in rank, which is the Speaker of Assembly, has been embroiled in a crisis with the deputy governor in the state. So, but the House of Assembly is operating, not as on the basis of parties. Once they enter plenary, or once they enter the one that they call executive session, according to them, they operate together. So it is not the matter of whether this person is PDP or this person is.
I would suppose that statement that once they enter executive session, they operate together is an indictment of your party. That your members in the House of Assembly are lacking ideological commitment. They have no respect for the Nigerian Constitution, and they go in cahoot with the majority party that is seemingly slapping the Constitution black and blue.
No, I've not said that. If you remember the processes that were involved, at a particular time, 11 members of the 26 members of Assembly were opposed to the impeachment. The 4 members, the PDP members in that assembly, are part of the 11. So we cannot say that they are working together with the APC majority. I've not said that. What I said was that at a time when some lists were making the rounds about signatures, one of the members from the PDP, that's the minority leader of the House, said that the list that was seen in public domain with the signature was the list they signed for attendance in one of their meetings. It was not for impeachment. But as it were, it was difficult for him to come to the public and make that known so that it should not be a case of the majority suspending the minority, which happens all the time. We saw it in Edo State, where the governor made sure that some members of the assembly were suspended, and for a period of almost 3.5 years. You also need some tact so that you don't get expelled, you don't get removed from parliament, and you'll be helpless, even though they don't have such powers. So that is exactly what I mean, that when they enter into executive session, they operate as a body, not as this one is PDP or this one is APC, not because they are collaborating with the so-called majority.
However, the Constitution also has a provision that empowers the lower house of the National Assembly in a crisis situation like this, especially where you have an aberrant House of Assembly, to take over the powers of the State House of Assembly. And I would suppose at this juncture, the members of the PDP, both from Ondo State and at large in the National Assembly, especially the House of Representatives, ought to be articulating the implementation of that provision now. Don't you think so?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, the issues are still being pursued because there is a provision, a constitutional provision, which says that if the governor is unable to perform the duties of his office or the president beyond a particular point, maybe beyond 21 days, I think section 190, subsection 2, it says that the deputy governor is supposed to be empowered through the doctrine of necessity to act in the position of the governor, which is what we have asked the Ondo State House Assembly to do, and they have not done. But in this case, what is clear to the public is that the Speaker of the Ondo State House Assembly is a master of impunity. He is somebody who has made up his mind that he will stand against the will of the people, the wishes of the people, and continue to take instructions from wherever source is taking this instruction from. For example, how on earth can a speaker say that he was constituting caretaker committees when the Constitution clearly states that elections and democratically elected officials are supposed to run the affairs of the local government? So is it not the case of the lawmaker breaking the law? So Oladipo has clearly shown himself as incompetent and against the wishes of the people. So we are still in court in several of these cases.
I hope, Kennedy, I hope you know the difference between what is called politicking and realpolitik. Kennedy, any reasonable Nigerian will agree with you that mountains of illegalities are literally being, are metaphorically being built in Ondo State. But the problem that an average, reasonable, well-educated, well-enlightened Nigerian would have is that what beyond the histrionics of talk, and talk is cheap. What is a party like PDP doing? Are you taking recourse to the law? Because as we speak, the Speaker of the House of Assembly and the controlling party in the House of Assembly are no bigger than the rule of law. And the only machinery that you have to articulate the effectiveness of the rule of law, we don't seem to see you guys articulating it. So is it just going to be you'll be speaking grammar, and the illegality will be going on?
Let me explain to you, please. Now, you said whether there is a difference between politics and repolitics. I don't know about that. But what I can tell you is that when this matter started, apart from beyond issuing statements, beyond issuing press statements, we staged a protest in which I'm sure you are aware that armored personnel carrier was moved to our office to seal it up by the Commissioner of Police for days. And yesterday, we have a court injunction restraining the government of Ondo State, anybody for that matter, from swearing in local government administrators or local government chairmen. At night, at about 8 o'clock, 9 p.m. in the night, they went and swore in these people against a court order that is before them that they were served with this injunction. So when you are talking about people that are fraudulently, stamping on the Constitution of Nigeria and stamping on the interests of the people, what else can we do? We are in court, even in this case of the assembly, and the swearing in of this illegal local government chairman. Then as per enforcing the law to making Ondo State benefit from governance, because since the act of the chief of the state is breaking the law, nobody is in charge of anything. So we are trying to go to court, but the courts we are not the judges. It is what they give us. Even this matter that was decided yesterday, we filed on the 13th of November. We didn't get a date until yesterday. So it is what we can do is just within the law. The policemen came and said about that we cannot even proceed on a legitimate protest. And our rights as Nigerians is constitutionally granted guarantee that we can demonstrate, we can move freely. But they stopped us. We went to court, but they said since they have released our office, we are free to go. So these are the things we are talking. State protest, go to court, approach the court. I hear that one now. I say, come and be an acting governor. Or go to Aketi, wherever he is, and bring him to Ondo State. As we speak, we don't even know where he is. The people that are managing him have not told us where Aketi is. And for more than 6 months, nobody has seen this man in public space. What are we talking about?
Well, a couple of weeks ago, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, we saw pictures of Southwest APC governors in a camaraderie session with him, reportedly in his house in Ibadan. But that does not, what is happening in Ondo State is saddening. For a man who, for the better part of his adult life, had epitomized, and I'm choosing my words carefully, had epitomized the rule of law, the integrity of the law, to be the chief dramatis persona. Now that all these illegalities are built around, it's saddening. But you know what? Politics sometimes, the way you partisans play it, and none of you can be said to be innocent. I'm sitting here now feeling frustrated as a Nigerian, feeling abused, and yet, I can't blame you. You've tried the way of the courts. The speaker reportedly, allegedly, from what you said now, deliberately disrespected the order of the court yesterday. So you've told us, allegedly. I'm not affirming it. But what else can be done? This madness has to be tackled.
What the Speaker of the House of Assembly and those working in cahoots with him are asking for is anarchy. Because in a state where laws are not obeyed, laws are put in place for the order of society, for the good of well-being of the state. So in a situation whereby somebody flagrantly abuses the law, is tramples on the law, and says, what can you do? It means we're asking for anarchy. If a man slaps you, maybe you go to court. Say, look, somebody has slapped you.
I wouldn't want to encourage you, Kennedy, especially for somebody who holds a very lofty office of, very lofty office in a major political party, to speak as though you are encouraging violence.
Well, I'm saying, even if the President Jeff Kennedy says so, those who make peaceful change impossible, make a violent change inevitable. That's what I'm saying. That it's an invitation to.
I'm basically counseling, especially yourself, that you must be very, very determined not to be seen to be encouraging violence. Number one,
I haven't said so. I'm only stating the obvious. I'm not condemning you, but I have a duty too to make sure that you are made to realize that some of your emotive pronouncements can be misconstrued by those who are ill-educated, who are not as exposed as you are, and that is why it is incumbent on me to make sure that I let you realize that you have a duty, especially to a system that you are profiting from, to be very circumspect in your use of language. No, what do you mean by profiting from? Is this situation profiting from in what sense? I'm a Nigerian. I'm not in government.
No, you are the spokesperson of one of the two major parties in Nigeria. Yes, in a state of anarchy, there wouldn't be room for you to even sit.
I think it's better that you get me clearly. It's better you get me clearly. What I said, those who make peaceful change impossible.
I'm familiar with the dictum. I'm familiar with the dictum Kennedy, and I know how. I'm equally very, very angry. I must be very honest with you, and it's so much painful because on a previous occasion that Aketi stood for the integrity of the Constitution and our laws. He actually counseled somebody who was in the same situation that he is in now to resign. If Aketi resigns today, it will not be in penury. It will not be hungry. It will not lack anything that will still protect his life and give him the dignity of an upper class life in Nigeria. So why are people now determined to push him in the direction of stigmatizing his legacy? Because at this juncture, Aketi's legacy as a human being is practically being stigmatized. I think it's about time members of his family, close members of his family, and people, the anger zone, who think they are profiting from this, they are rubbishing his legacy. My opinion, it doesn't make it this thing, but this is saddening, very saddening.
It's unfortunate. It's quite unfortunate that Ondo State is in this state of affairs, because Ondo State is, populated by very cerebral and people who are well-to-do in every walk of life. But where we have found ourselves is quite unfortunate. And we are using the opportunity to plead with those that are holding Ondo State by the jugular, that they should release Ondo State so that we can have peace in Ondo State, we can have governance in Ondo State the way it ought to be. Anybody can be ill. Nobody is challenging the fact that Akedi, why should it be ill? No, why not? Anybody can be ill. But the Constitution provides for a situation like this. So once it happens, there is a constitutional safeguard which must lash onto for the state to move forward, which is what some people are holding back, including the Speaker of the National Assembly. For example, how can anybody tell a man that was duly elected to bring a letter of resignation that is not dated? Where on earth is it hide? Where has that kind of thing ever happened before? It's ridiculous, and it's actually making Ondo State look like people don't even know what they are doing. And just a few people are doing all of this. And we are using the opportunity to plead with them that it will be in their own very best interest, because there's posterity in everything we do. There's history. I'm going to record for everybody which role individuals played in this drama. And we are just doing our own part as much as we are able to do, using the law as our guide.
This issue of Aiyedatiwa having been made by the president to sign an undated letter of resignation, one does not know how far that is true, but I just pray it's not true. And the reason why I pray it's not true is that His Excellency the President may be walking a very, very thin line of decency on that subject for a man who, for a time in his life, stood against the Gorgon Medusa of autocracy, fought for democracy, had to go to exile for democracy, being privy. I just pray it's not true. And you see, I don't suppose people like you two or people
the Speaker said so. Speaker of the Ondo State Assembly said so in plenary. It is in black and white. He said so. It's on tape. I'm not the person saying it.
I understand your point, Kennedy. But at this juncture, I am not one that respects that speaker so much anymore, because he could say anything. A character like that could say anything to either want to bamboozle those who are not standing with him, or wanting to machinate, his own selfish ambition. Because all this, to political tea leaf reader. All this is about the ambitions, the vaulting ambitions of these characters. Or am I wrong?
Because, very correct, sir. What I said in some of the statements I issued earlier was that I expected Mr. President, who's also a veteran in this business of politics, to know that what is at stake is the 2024 elections coming up in Ondo State. Who will succeed Aketi in the APC? So it is a fireworks that is connected with who becomes the successor to Aketi to pick the APC ticket. Now, whatever it was, Aiyedatiwa is deputy governor, and he has a constitutional duty or responsibility to take over from Aketi if Aketi is incapacitated in this manner. But those who are also eyeing the governorship seat know that if Aiyedatiwa becomes acting governor, they will be at a disadvantage in the contest for the APC ticket. This is the underlying factor. This is what is behind all the fireworks I've seen.
I hope some of those who advise the president will remember that they literally, including the president, literally took to the streets when it was necessary to help articulate the emergence of the then Vice President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan to have the Constitution work as it ought to work for him. And now, Kennedy, how do you want to end this? We really have to go now.
Yeah, let me say that the problems that we have in Ondo State are being